Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Before Abe's funeral, Steve and Sweetness hang up the phone. John, a man in black, approaches. Steve inquires about Rachel. The previous pawn is aware that Kristen abducted her, but where? Oh, where? Brady is posting flyers in the plaza about Rachel, who is missing. Marlena tries to assist, but he points out that they are the ones who actually have Rachel. Not to let anyone in, Kristen texts Rachel. Ring a bell. Seeing Lani makes her happy. Polina is attempting to contain her emotions while wearing an attractive outfit so that she won't have to redo her makeup. Mama's got a tissue from Channel. Whitley prepares breakfast for Abe while he sneers that Polina is not his wife. The police investigated the mansion but discovered nothing. John sighs to Steve. He continues to track Kristen despite his suspicions that she wouldn't dare leave Salem. He accepts Steve's offer of coffee and lemons his nightmare from the night before. Abe leaving the dock and disappearing into thin air. The silver fox perceived it to be a sign. Channel makes an effort to support Polina while praising Abe in the past tense. A tragic period. Channel is now crying as well. Whitley claims to be Polina, but Abe has seen the genuine Polina's photo. When the crazy nurse pokes in once more, he objects. Man in black Brady is quite certain that Kristen is with Rachel even though she isn't even looking. She is making fun of the Demira home. Lani adds that she was permitted to go to Abe's funeral, and that she stopped by to provide sympathy for missing Rachel. Lani is aware that Kristen is lying when she claims to be worried. Polina gives Theo a hug as he arrives. Channel is happy that everyone will go to the funeral together. Polina tells her daughter to pick up the photos of Abe on her behalf, and she and Theo promise to meet up after the service at the church. Channel concurs. Theo believes she had a purpose in sending her daughter abroad. Polina wants to talk about. Steve makes a profanity. Premonition. Unfortunately, John is at a loss for words, but it appears like Abe is contacting him because he wants assistance. They would need more, but it's not impossible. Steve reminds the guy that they looked at all the hints. They retrace their steps from the beginning since John thinks they missed something. While Abe looks off into space, Whitley swears that she is Polina. Jerry appears and exhales as he demands to know what she'd done to the mayor. When Marlena overhears Brady accusing Kristen of hiding their daughter inside the Demira estate, she dissuades him from approaching. Lani reminds Kristen that kidnapping is illegal since she knows that if her story were real, Kristen would be out looking for Rachel. She is her mother. Kristen counters. Lani tells her that she is not the custodial parent and advises her to take Brady to court because they both care deeply about the child. She ought to inform Brady of her location as well. Theo's offer to give Abe's eulogy is applauded by Polina, who expresses concern that he could feel under pressure. Although it won't be simple, he wants to do it for his father. He now requests her cooperation in order to practice with her before. Steve reiterates what Whitley, the nurse, said. John believes that someone who was familiar with the location of the hospital cameras, such as Nurse Whitley King, moved Abe. He becomes even more suspicious after learning that she allegedly became ill the day Abe vanished. Channel stops by to see the photos Kayla discovered. She explains that Abe's kind nurse stopped by as Steve picks up the box. John receives verification that it was Nurse King. Whitley leads Jerry away while explaining why she had to take out Abe. He suggests she release him since he thinks her mad plan has gone too far. Even though he is still alive nearby, his loved ones will be inconsolable at his funeral. She now drops a major revelation. She will soon go from Salem with Abe. Returning to Demira Mansion, Kristen is reminded by Lani how much Brady adores their daughter. Why put the man she cares about through pain? Brady's universe is Rachel. They embrace and express their affection for one another. Kristen is happy to see her and is obviously thinking about her advice. Brady is persuaded by Marlena to allow her to contact Kristen. Theo narrates aloud the story of how Abe met and fell in love with Polina years after losing his beloved Lexi. He discusses both the good and the terrible, showing how they ultimately came to be. Theo adores her and thanks her for embracing him just the way he is. He pledges to look after her. Polina ecstatically embraces her stepson and tenderly vows that they will look out for one another. John is interested in learning more about Whitley's visit. He and Steve are informed of her alleged journey to offer her sorrow. She was a staunch ally and supporter of Abe. After Channel leaves, John mumbles that they ought to, Steve says as he examines the nurse more closely. Whitley talks about her long-term savings and offers Jerry a sizable bonus in exchange for his departure from Salem. He will hear from her soon. Say nothing to anyone in the meanwhile. Returning to the living room, she tells Abby a fib about her son Theo forgetting something. He sneers, "I'm not my son." She must run an errand, so she leaves the television on. Marlena arrives via the covered dimmer door and surprises Kristen. The Queen of the Night is familiar with the tunnel system. Kristen has already looked downstairs after hearing that she is here for Rachel. She is urged by Marlena to say where she is. When Steve, who is in the hospital looking for Nurse King, calls the Silver Fox, Brady is at the bar with John. Whitley shows up after Steve hangs off the phone and inquires as to his intentions, while Jerry's character tells David Cate's character that he is not Kyle. Abby is watching the classic soap opera. "You're not Theo either," Abby growls. Polina is to the graveyard with her adorable children Theo, Channel, and Lani. Each of them is holding an image of Abe. There were many people at the funeral. Theo saw Jerry there, but Polina missed the nurse. Theo recalls feeling horrible for not being able to help fallen Abe, but he is unable to swim, and Lani is listening. After the others have left, Lani performs the calculations while recalling how Jerry ran off when she arrived at the pier. He appeared to be preparing to reveal something to Theo. The committed daughter and detective make the decision to investigate. Marlena reminds Kristen that she assisted in her memory recovery as they get tense. She offers that she repay the favor by disclosing Rachel's location. According to Kristen, if she knew she wouldn't share for free Sue. Brady and John raise a glass to Abe. Steve describes himself. Whitley wonders what he wants to talk about. She doesn't deny supporting Abe in going to his public appearances. Steve is curious as to what he said immediately before disappearing. Whitley claims to be rushing because she is quitting. Steve questions why with suspicion. Jerry begins to pack in a frenzy. Call out loudly. It's Lani, who has a sly grin on her face. Polina is unhappy and famished after returning home. Theo questions whether Abby actually has a better situation now. Abby is currently watching a vintage soap opera while crying. He envisions himself knocking on Kate's door and requesting assistance. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.